I pray every day. I pray no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to eat your husband in the face with a shovel. I pray for you. I pray for him. You ripped my heart out. You ripped out everyone in this family's heart out.
Lori Vallow Daybell's only surviving son takes the stand in her murder trial. And wait till you hear what the two talked about on a recorded jailhouse call. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. A big witness took the stand in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. Now, a little recap here. The 49-year-old Doomsday mother is currently on trial in Idaho and faces life in prison on first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder charges in connection with the deaths of her children, 7-year-old J.J. Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan. Their bodies found on the property of her current husband, Chad Daybell. He actually faces similar charges. He's going to be tried separately at a later date. But Lori Vallow Daybell's troubles don't end there, because she is also charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the death of Chad's now deceased wife, Tammy Daybell. You see, originally, Tammy's death was thought to be from natural causes, that she died in her sleep. But when the kids' bodies were found and her body was exhumed, authorities realized something else was going on. And that is when prosecutors explained at the beginning of this trial that Tammy Daybell actually died from asphyxiation at the hands of another. Now, the theory put forward by prosecutors is that Lori Vallow Daybell did this for several reasons. One, to be with Chad, who she was having an affair with. Two, for financial gain. In other words, obtain the proceeds of Social Security and life insurance benefits when these people died. And three, that she and Chad felt justified through their extreme religious beliefs, that there were these dark spirits, there was good versus evil, the kids were possessed, stuff like that. Okay. So that brings me now to a major witness who took the stand, as I mentioned, Colby Ryan, the 27-year-old surviving son of Lori Vallow Daybell from a previous relationship. He is someone who has spoken out about this case before in interviews. He even wrote a book. By all accounts, he had a very, very close relationship with his sister Tylee, as well as JJ. Okay, so let's get into some of these significant moments from his testimony. And he explained how he was contacted by the police in November 2019 about his missing siblings. He said when he called his mom to find out what was going on, Lori wouldn't tell him where she was, but that she was moving somewhere cold, and that it was dangerous for her to tell anybody where she had gone. He even tried to contact her during Thanksgiving, but her phone was disconnected. And then he tells the jury this.
At that time, had you had cause to be concerned about Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
What gave rise to that concern?
My conversations over text with her.
Okay, and what was it about your conversations in text with Tylee that gave you concern?
When I first texted her, I had followed up with a few different phone calls and FaceTimes. And then the texts I was receiving back were just in different language than how Tylee would type and talk, and just the way she used her punctuation and things like that. It was just different.
Okay. So was it fair to say you felt like it wasn't Tylee you were speaking with?
Yes.
So was it perhaps Lori pretending to be Tylee? That's something for the jury to consider. And here's something to think about. I've said this before. This is very much a circumstantial evidence case. There's no smoking gun, arguably. There's no recorded conversation between Lori, Chad, and as well as her deceased brother, Alex Cox, who's been accused of being the actual killer. There's no recorded conversation where they all agree to kill everyone. There's no real forensic physical evidence tying Lori to the killings. But what we have are strange comments, actions, questionable timeline of events that go towards things like consciousness of guilt, or they go towards it's reasonable to perceive Lori as being responsible or involved in what happened. That's the big evidence here, which brings me now to the big bombshell. I would say it's Colby Ryan's testimony, but really what it is a phone call that was played in court for this jury, a recorded phone call between Colby and his mother, Lori, while she was locked up in jail. And as you'll hear, he confronts his mother directly about the deaths of his siblings.
You
don't know what happened.
What happened?
Everyone's making their own judgments.
Mom, you've been shoving BS on my throat for a very long time. I'm gonna talk to you.
You could be mad.
Hey, listen to me. I'm not mad. Listen to me. Fine, listen to me. I've sat there and prayed. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I have felt from your decisions.
So he comes out and straight up accuses her. Again, this is after the kids are found buried in Chad's backyard. And you hear when she says, "You don't know what happened," doesn't that suggest that she knows what happened? And she once again refers to this religious connotation and seeming justification. And you hear Colby begging her to explain this to him.
To know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister who's not even alive, my little brother who's the sweetest little kid ever. For what purpose? Can you tell me that this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepmother, to be dead? After everything that you tried to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all conviction in your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side. Please.
I can't tell you that.
What did you tell me? What lies did you feed me? Why would you lie to me if you're with the Lord and you've seen Him? And I'm just talking purely to you. If you've seen Jesus Christ, where's the fear? Why wouldn't you tell me something? Why were you afraid? Why is everyone against you? Why is everything against my mom?
You can be against me all you want. One day, we will all stand there with Jesus. We will all stand there with Jesus, and you will know the truth of everything. Not for me.
I mean, this is incredibly heartbreaking to listen to. Him trying to get these answers, how he found out what happened to his siblings, how he says he was kept in the dark. You can hear the pain, but you can also hear Lori becoming even more indignant. From a legal point of view, if she really felt justified, why not just come clean about what happened, right? Well, I think an argument could be made that she knows she's in legal trouble. She knows she's in trouble with authorities. She doesn't want to admit anything. That's called consciousness of guilt. Sure, a counter argument could be made that maybe she didn't know what happened and she was lied to. Maybe she was kept in the dark. Maybe, but we really haven't heard anything like that from the defense so far. Now, this part is really interesting. This is where Lori goes on to say how much she has been through.
I don't have anything else to say. You obviously don't know. You weren't there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there. Nobody was there. Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened. And they love me. And we are still together forever. They love me. And they are fine. And they do know the truth. And I know the truth. And we're the only people that do. So you can judge me, Colby, all day long. Go ahead and judge me. The whole world has. The whole world has judged me. They don't know, and you don't know. You know what I've been through, and you don't even give a crap what they've been through. Nobody does. Except for me. I am the one that was in the hospital with Tylee for hundreds of days watching her suffer. I am the one that was there doing everything with JJ every day. I was the one who did it all these years.
You did it all to throw it in the garbage. They're not.
You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened.
Wow. Few things here. One way of looking at it is she really has these warped beliefs that maybe killing them was for their own benefit and that they still love her. That feeds into the prosecution's narrative of religious justification for the killings. There's also an argument to be made that when she talks about all the kids, everything that they were going through, Tylee had pancreatitis, JJ had autism. Prosecutors have argued that, or at least suggested that these kids were inconveniences in Lori Vallow Daybell's life, that she wanted to be free with Chad. So she's talking about how much she's been through. But she is fully aware of how everyone perceives her. But she won't come out and exactly say what happened. But this knowledge that she apparently has of what happened is why prosecutors say she was a part of these murders and the plot to kill. I'll say it as an aside. As you hear this kind of twisted logic and talking, you can kind of understand why Lori was deemed incompetent for a period of time. She was committed to a state hospital for months until she was deemed competent to stand trial. And to kind of give you an idea of that, this is heavy, heavy stuff in this conversation. But listen to what Lori does next.
Act in his name is pure blasphemy. This is funny? This is funny? This is funny. You're laughing. Like, this is funny. How come your camera's on? You don't want to look at me in the eye? Why can't you look at me? It's
nice
just
to
you
talk
and me.
to
I'm
you,
in my house
folks.
alone.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see and one day you won't understand.
Yeah, you heard it right. She's laughing as they talk about the deaths of Lori's 2 children. So when we talk about mental health, something to think about there. Now, in this 12-minute call, I mean, I've tried to give you the highlights, but I just want to end on this one final exchange that is really something to hear.
You're telling me that this was all done in light? Say it. Tell me that this was done in Jesus' name.
You don't know what happened.
Why? Why don't I know, Mom? Oh, because I was kept in the dark to protect me? You know who needed protecting? My little dead siblings. That's who needed protecting, Mom. This...
Where were you when you did that? Is that what you think you did?
You ran away.
I hadn't been.
A month later, you ran away. I never wanted you guys to leave. I would have taken those kids in 1 second. I would bring them into my home, and I would have taken care of them. That's not even a question to me.
Yeah, everybody
You can't say that you don't.
Everybody says that.
Says it now? Where was my offer?
I'm saying I did everything for them.
Well, me
I
and Peter Griffin run away together in Hawaii? How about that? If you had offered me, you would have known. You cannot sit here and lie.
That's not everything. That is not the truth. Okay? That's what people are
They were
thinking.
murdered,
They're
twisted
assuming.
around, and you walked away. So when
No, you don't know that. No, that is not what happened. That is not what happened.
You tell me what happened. If you can tell me what happened, then I don't care. If you can actually explain it, then it's different.
I would love
But you can't.
to talk to you about it.
Mom, you've been saying that you've been wanting to tell me for a very long time, and you never say it. You have no idea how much pain I have felt in my body. I feel like I could die. My own mom.
Where were you? What a strange comment. And it is so sad to hear him say that he would have taken these kids in. And Lori basically saying, oh, everyone says that now. They would have been there for the kids, but she was the one for them. Just another weird thing for her to say. And look, I can imagine that this wasn't helpful to her case. Now, in cross-examination, the defense tried to hit at Colby Ryan's credibility, citing a book that he wrote, him choosing to be part of a Netflix documentary. They also brought up a line that he said in the documentary where he basically says Lori changed because of Chad. They even asked if he loved his mom. He says yes. He thinks that his mom still loves him. Now, I will end with this highlight. This highlight from Gigi McKelvey, who has been our reporter inside of the Ada County Courthouse. She's been our eyes and ears since there's no cameras allowed. And according to her, at one point, Colby Ryan looked over at his mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, while he was on the stand or getting off the stand, and gave her a look of pure disgust. And that's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.